Hi folks, it's been a while, but I finally decided to make a new video for Black Mesa. In this case, a video game review requested by Kenny1550. Don't worry, a big Q&A video is coming soon, I just need some time to prepare it. So, video game review, let's do this shit. I'm going to review a game I just completed a few days ago. It's called Bulletstorm. It's made by People Can Fly, who also made Painkiller, and it's published by Epic Games, famous for making a real tournament or Gears of War. Yeah, I'm sure all of you already know that. So People Can Fly tried to make a sort of a spiritual successor to Painkiller with Bulletstorm, and they succeeded at it. Because Bulletstorm is all about stylishly killing loads of enemies, all kinds of creative looking guns, and that's what Painkiller was all about. The single player campaign is sweet but very short. You can beat the game in less than 5 hours, even if you die quite a few times, or decide to go faffing about for a while. But one of the annoying thing I have noticed is that you can't really explore the levels too much, because they've put lots of both invisible and visible barriers around the playable areas of the maps, even going as far as to make it impossible to fall from ledges, while also limiting the freedom of movement by kicking out the built-in jump. It's funny. Painkiller has jump and no crouch, while Bulletstorm has crouch but no jump. Think about that. Must have some deeper meaning to it. The campaign is fairly well paced and has some really impressive set pieces, made even more impressive by the gorgeous and colorful vistas. The plot is brief and easy to understand. Grayson Hunt is the name of the main character. He's a drunken space pirate, always looking for a quick and easy buck. He holds a grudge against General Serrano, who tricked him into killing several innocent people in the past, and now Grayson wants to kill him. So one day, Grayson finds Serrano's ship orbiting some random planet, and in his drunken rage, he decides to attack it, even if that means killing himself to bring Serrano down. After a brief and unreal space combat sequence, Grayson manages to destroy Serrano's ship, and it crash lands on the surface of the planet, along with Grayson's cruiser. After that, Grayson and his sidekick Ishi must escape from that mess of a planet, and if possible, bring Serrano down, because he's a really, really, really big son of a bitch. Like, motherfucker, you wouldn't believe. Yeah, there's a bit more to the plot, of course, but I want to keep this video relatively short, so I just gave you the quick rundown of the plot, because people don't deserve more than that. The characters in this game are some of the most full-mouthed, immature, and loudest people I've ever seen in a video game. The main character is unlikable by design and is the complete opposite of most video game main characters, which are mostly supposed to be shiny paragons of goodness and heroism. And Grayson Hunt is he's no hero, he's no paragon of good intentions, he has no, but he also has no agenda, so, that doesn't make him the villain. He's just sort of an anti-hero in that he, he's a pirate, so he robs other people for his own benefit, but, he has no long plan agenda against anyone. against General Serrano, but that's because Serrano is the villain here. He's the villain here. Anyway, yeah, General Serrano is easily the most unlikable character I've ever seen in the video game. He's a completely ruthless monster, a son of a bitch who knows no compassion nor boundaries. He has probably already killed his mother to get what he wanted, and his mouth shoots swear words like a fucking machine gun shoots bullets. It's... fuck me. The remaining roster of supporting characters is not much better, but they still manage to be as interesting as the main characters. The enemies you fight are humans, either normal or mutated, and monsters native to the planet, mostly in boss fights. Their designs are fairly varied, and they act as intelligently as you'd expect from this kind of game. Although the normal human enemies tend to backtrack, find cover, or try to flank you, so they're fairly more intelligent than the enemies from Doom or even the first Painkiller, but not by much. Now, one of the best things about this game is the gameplay. The gameplay in Bulletstorm is a mix between old school FPS and modern FPS, so you'll have the frantic shooting action and the big hordes of enemies of an old school FPS with some of the realistic mechanics of modern FPS like iron sights, linear level progression, or quick time events. Don't worry though, the quick time events are fairly rare and mostly optional, and they don't affect combat at all. They just appear in some moments, like when you have to climb a ledge or one of those supporting beams. And you get points for completing them, but they're mostly optional, so don't worry about that. They don't affect combat at all. The whole gameplay mechanics are centered around the gimmick called Skill Shot, which scores your performance according to how brutal and creative your kills are. The bloodier you kill an enemy, the more points you get. For example, if you kick an enemy towards spikes, you get more points than from just shooting him in the body. But you also get more points from headshots or crowd shots. Shots. You also have a leash, which you can use to pull enemies towards you. If you kick an enemy into the air, you can pull him back to you using the leash. And you get points for chaining up that kind of attack. Kick an enemy, push him towards you with your leash, and then kick him again against, for example, power cables, so he gets shot, and that's quite a few points there. Yeah, the game has a list of all possible skill shots you can do, so you can try to do them all. Those points you earn from skill shots, they can be used towards buying ammo and upgrades for your weapons. Now, I haven't played too much of the multiplayer component, but it's basically a 4-player co-op combat on tiny maps against hordes of enemies. It uses the skill shots, which gives you points towards player customization. I haven't played too much of it, like I said, but it's basically that. It's not, it doesn't have any competitive modes like deathmatch or capture the flag. It's just that co-op gameplay mode, I think, but like I said, I barely played it. There's also another mode called Echoes, in which you play on maps taken out of the single-player campaign and try to set highest scores using the skill shot system, which you can then compare against your friends or other players in the game. It uses the Game for Windows Live DRM, which most people don't like, but I really have no problem with it. It's the same with Origin. I don't see no reason to complain other than having these having this principle against it, which I don't have. I'm I'm a whore like that. Visually, this is one of the most gorgeous games of last year. It uses the Unreal Engine 3 to great effect, rendering some of the most beautiful and colorful maps I've ever seen in a first-person shooter in recent years. You know, and it does it. Keeping the frames per second pretty high, even if you have an honest gaming computer like I do. But going back to the colorful aspect of the game, it's easily one of the most colorful first-person shooters from this decade. We've been grown used to mostly gray or brown shooters like Call of Duty or Gears of War and other games like that. And this game comes, this AAA blockbuster game comes, and it's as colorful as you can get. The whole range of colors is represented here in great measure, and it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, the whole colorful and cheery look of the world in Bulletstorm really contrasts with the sheer amount of violence and swearing this game contains. It's impressive, really. The sound design is very competent, giving you very powerful shooting sounds for the weapons and all kinds of squishy sounds for the great amount of gore you'll cause to your enemies. And believe me that. The voice acting is pretty good and loud, always peppered by truckloads of swearing, innuendo, and fart jokes. Oh yeah, you get ready to hear all kinds of fart jokes and shit jokes and piss jokes. It's a dick tits of a game, really. The soundtrack is, it's pretty good, but nothing to write home about. All in all, it's a pretty fun game. It's great, but no Game of the Year material. The only downfalls are its extreme shortness. Yeah, you can complete the game in about 4 hours if you're fast and skilled. The repetitive swearing from the characters, which can get very old very fast. It can get really grating after a while. Even if some of the shit they say can be pretty creative and sometimes hilarious. And lastly, another downfall is its uninspired multiplayer, which, as I said before, it's just a simple co-op, 4-player co-op against hordes of enemies, not much more to it. I bought it for less than $10, and I think that's a pretty fair price for it. I would never recommend buying this at full price when it came out. I mean, maybe for half the price at best. So yeah, that's it for the review. For those that have managed to endure all my rambling to the end, I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll probably try to make another review if you like this one. Also, stay tuned for the BQ&I video that should be coming out in the next couple of days. Until next time.